back at it again with some more post-ban Pioneer testing. There are so many decks that I want to play right now. It was hard to choose what we were going to play today, but I ended up on Blue-Red Spellementals 2.0. The last time we tested this deck, it went pretty well. It felt like there was something there. There was a few cards that felt a little bit weird, so I wanted to try this deck again and see how it feels, especially in a post-ban metagame. We were running Corey Steelcutter, but it was our sideboard juke. So our main deck doesn't lose it. It does open up some space in our sideboard. Let's get into the deck list. I'll go over the changes. What's going on with the stream here? Okay, we are good to go. And yeah, let's go into the changes from last time. So the big thing is we are now running a small learn package fueled by divide by 0. The reason that I went with the learn package is I really wanted boomerang basics. I thought about running a lessons package in the main deck with boomerang basics, accumulate wisdom, abandon knowledge, and some of the red removal, firebending lesson, Iroh's demonstration. But all of the lists I put together just weren't quite there. The issue is for those packages to be good, we need to be running boomerang basics. And in order to run boomerang basics in the main deck, we need something to return. Because I want the synergy of return Sunderflock with boomerang basics to get the cast trigger again. But there's just not another good 1-mana permanent. I went pretty deep. There's the artifact that when it enters, you draw a card, and when it leaves, you draw a card. There's a, oh man, what are they called? The level up enchantment, a class that makes a clue, a lot of stuff that's close, but just I wasn't quite comfortable running. They didn't synergize enough with the rest of the deck to justify running the full lessons package. So we're running a learn package instead, fueled by divide by 0. So that way we can go get our boomerang basics when we need it. We're not running academic dispute. We don't get creatures out early enough to use it as removal, so that's why we're using divide by 0. There's the other 3-mana do 3 damage spell. If we want a 5th or a 6th learn card, we can try that, but 3 mana to do 3 damage is pretty slow in Pioneer, so I didn't want to start on that today. We cut Traumatic Critique, and we cut Change the Equation. Pioneer is a format about playing to the battlefield. It's not a fight on the stack format. So I didn't feel comfortable registering like 8 or 10 pieces of stack interaction. It's just too easy to fall behind on board if you do that. We are up to 2 Spell Pierce in the main deck. We'll see how this plays today. 4 Fiery Impulse. Basically mandatory for these Izzet decks now with how much Greasefang is running around. Still on flow state. Probably the best card advantage spell in Pioneer. I think I would rate this over Stock Up at this point. Let me know what you think, but flow state has been great for me. We're up to 4 Vibrant Outbursts. This card played pretty well the last time we played this deck, and I want to continue testing this card to continue to get a feel on how it plays in Pioneer. And we just have our Elemental package, our Hearth Elemental, and our Eddie Merc Crab, and our 11 cantrips. Back to the sideboard, we are running a pretty big lesson package, mainly because I want to see how the lessons play in a more slower, this isn't a control deck, but just a non-aggressive deck, and see how some of the lessons play see how often we're getting cards like Octopus Form, like It'll Quench You. Other than that, we have Aether Gusts. We're playing Legend of Roku as our grindy card. Potentially should just be on the Ral that's an Otter. We'll see. I want to see how this plays again in a slightly higher, a deck that's a little bit slower than your average blue-red prowess deck, but still lots of cheap spells. This is hopefully going to be exiling 3 1 or 2 mana spells that we can either immediately cast or the next turn have a big turn, and then it just wins the game if it goes unchecked. I also was looking through the list of instants and sorceries and found this card, Broadside Barrage. It's probably not better than Scorching Shot at 3 mana to kill Shieldred specifically, but it is an instant and it does let us draw and then discard, and the loot does do more in this deck. It feels our elementals. I wanted to give it a try. We're doing lots of testing today. Figured might as well see if we want to board it in. And if we board it in, oh my gosh, excuse me, is the 3 mana too slow? How does it play? Thought this was a fun one that I just found while I was looking through cards. I think that's the deck tech. We've talked about everything. Let's go ahead and hop into some ranked. It's rough when I need to look at the actual numbers, but it does feel like at least 50%, if not more, of the Pioneer metagame is thought seizing you on turn 1. So this hand is a little rough with the Stormcarved Coast not coming into, but if we find any land, this hand is really good. And we can still kill anything on turn 1 with the Verge. So, all right, we don't find a land to make this come into play untapped. Oh, they have the Japanese plains. Heichi. Let's see if we... So we need to find a land off this. All right, awesome. We find a land that turns on our Verge. We are... Man, they're... Say Field of Ruin, one of these here. We're probably not going to get to cast this. We'll wait one turn. The upside of getting to cast these Fiery Impulses is too... Nah, but they're just going to Field of Ruin us. And then, yeah, we're going to cast this Flow State. So Sunderflock or 4th land against a mono-white deck that's likely going after our lands. I think we want to find as many lands here, and just casting back-to-back Hearth Elementals should be pretty good in this matchup. We are on 4 basics in this deck, so it's going to be a while before we run out. All right, so they do have another piece of land destruction. And we could cast here. Let's leave up a Divide by 0 this turn. I would love to be able to learn away one of these Fiery Impulses. All right, so with them doing this, there's still... Now we could cast a Crab, but I want to leave up this Divide by 0. They get another Plains. Please cast anything. Okay, this is... All right, we can beat a Castle Ardenvale. We will Divide by 0 Elite Spellbinder. I haven't seen this card in forever. Sorry, Paulo, but you're going back to our opponent's hand. That changes the equation, though. Do we... I think we're still discarding a Fiery Impulse here. Well, and drawing another Fiery Impulse, I'm very happy that we... Does this... Opponents can't cast spells from anywhere other than their hands. What does this stop in Pioneer? I'm not sure, but if we cast this, we can 1 mana Hearth Elemental next turn. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on, but it is cool. Notably, we are a little bit choked on red mana here. From all of their, this is an Archon locked. Oh, yep. That makes sense. The combo is right in front of me. They exile our card and then... Okay, so they have an Erode here. That was pretty obvious that they had that. Hate Bears. Yeah, I was a little bit thrown off by how slow their opener was. With just the double Field of Ruin into Demolition Field. But yeah, it was always just Hate Bears. Let's cast this Crab, keep the pressure on. There's a chance that this is just going into another Erode. What do they have here? It seems... Alright, we find another Steam Vents. Get a second red source. We'll get in for 5. This deck playing Elite Spellbinder and Drannith Magistrate. Okay, Aven Interrupter. So this becomes plotted, and so that's fine. We have to wait until the next turn to play this, right? Yeah, on a later turn. So we will... Can we cast both halves of this? Judge! Let's leave up a red mana. Just put together a Pioneer hate list. Myself also uses the lock. Yeah, the lock just... Is it a hard lock or mostly a soft lock? So you have Drannith Magistrate plus... Alright, so they Elite Spellbinder. Soft lock, yeah. So we need to kill this in response, and then we can use... our Fiery Impulse on... Why didn't we get to tap that? Yeah, but we just get to kill the Elite Spellbinder here. So we Elite Spellbinder, Hearth Elemental for free, leave up Eddie Mert Crab. As fun as it would be to cast the other half for 0 mana, we just have too many elementals in our hand. At this point, let's leave the ability to stroke Genius. Here, Aven Interrupter is likely there. Yeah. Oh boy. Okay, so man, I always lose to this card. Oh man. Yeah, look at the top 7 and put 3 creatures with me. I always lose to this card. It's always in Selesnya Angels. We'll see what they hit off of this. The Super Collected Company. So they find 1 removal spell. This doesn't do anything against us, and they find a Drannith Magistrate. Oh, this doesn't hit any of our elementals. So we'll play the Crab here force them to chump block with the Dranith Magistrate because that's their highest value creature. All right, and they just concede. We likely would have been able to find lethal with those two. All right, cool. Playing against mono white hate bears. All our elementals dodging their CMC based removal feels really good in this matchup. We aren't running any sweepers. Aether Gust doesn't do anything. I don't think we need this. Our Fiery Impulses and our Vibrant Outbursts kill all of their creatures. I think this is a send it back as is. Yeah, this hits nothing in their deck. And all of our lessons can stay in here to get with Divide by Zero. This feels like a good matchup. We'll see how these sideboard games go. So the lock is just they play Archon. So you can only cast one spell plus Dranith Magistrate. Well, those two don't combo together. Just the Dranith Magistrate combos with all of the exile things, and then they let you play it from, prevent you from casting with it. Yeah. And then Archon is just good because they're exiling this stuff from your hand, and then it's annoying to actually be able to deploy all of those threats. Okay, consider sleight of hand. Yeah, all right, this is a fine hand. Hopefully they're not playing Thalia. Thalia would be insane against this hand. Make it so you cast one a turn, cast Aven Interrupter. Yeah. And so just be as annoying as possible as hate bear decks tend to do. Let's cast one sleight of hand. We don't need to leave up double Fiery Impulse. You know, let's just take another removal spell against this mono white creature deck. Definitely feels like a deck that needs to be doing something on turn 2 and turn 3. I'm not sure how their plan of just do nothing in Field of Ruin. So they'll Elite Spellbinder. So even if we kill the Spellbinder, we still have to pay more here. So we'll let this resolve. I remember playing this card in Mono White Humans back when it first came out, and we were all super hyped thinking that it was like Kite Sail Freebooter 2.0. All right, so they take this. We're just gonna start the killing of their creatures. So we find another Vibrant Outburst. Again, we're gonna keep trying to get through these sleight of hands. Nice. We find a Sunderflock. And maybe they should. This is. Yeah, this still counts even when it's exiled. Okay, they have another Elite Spellbinder. Nothing we can do about this. They'll probably take the Vibrant Outburst here. It does make our hand very awkward. Yeah, cute little interaction that this can. Yeah, so they do take the Vibrant Outburst. Yeah, it needs turn 2 and 3 to build up to replace Aether Vial. Kind of. I'm gonna try Springleaf Drum. Yeah, let's kill this and then consider. Get this Hearth Elemental. All right, we will keep land. Yeah, so if you go like Springleaf Drum on turn 1 into. So we can Hearth Elemental Flow State. Well, Flow State first. Let's just take the 2 spells. Cast this Hearth Elemental. Yeah, it obviously not as good as Aether Vial. They could put Aether Vial in Pioneer probably. Is that a hot take that Aether Vial would not be too good for Pioneer? I mean, it's horrible in Modern now. Oh man, they just have another Elite Spellbinder. Let's just kill this. So they had triple Elite Spellbinder. We had triple Fiery Impulse. It wouldn't be great. Make Merfolk relevant. Yes. So I'm thinking back, see, you play, yeah, like Thraben Inspector or Springleaf Drum on turn 1. Wish they'd add it. I mean, it would, I would, I'd play a ton of Aether Vial decks if they put it in Pioneer. And it feels like it doesn't see any play in Modern anymore. I don't see why we can't have it in Pioneer. Merfolk would play it. Then we could play old 5-color humans in Pioneer, and that would be really cool. Toss to get. Oh yeah, it would go really good in Selesnya Angels. And it wouldn't even necessarily be that good in like the existing Selesnya deck, because that's a Collected Company deck. And Collected Company plus like Aether Vial is a historic nombo. 4/4 without needing to tap 4 things out. Okay, so this is the combo here. We get to exile our stuff. And now we can't cast it from exile. Unfortunately for our opponent here, we do have a second Sunderflock to return those to their hand. Yeah, 4/4 with that. Yeah, Selesnya Angels with Aether Vial would actually be sick. Okay, so they replay Dranith Magistrate, which is a 3-for-1 right now. But they are super behind on board. Okay, they are not super behind on board anymore. They get a Swords. We get a 1/1. How does this prepare? When this creature enters, make a 1/1 with flying. Then if an opponent controls... Okay, so this can only get prepared once. They would have to return it to their hand. All right, what are we doing this turn? So we Eddy Mark Crab. They exile Sunderflock. They take 5. They go to 7. Alternatively, we just attack. They're not going to double block. They'll sword something, and then we just cast double Eddy Merc on their turn and go for lethal. Dranith Magistrate actually looking insane here. Oh, sorry, and we know about this Aven Interrupter. Yeah, so they swords. Are we getting locked out of the game here? Do they chump with the Emeritus? That's what they're thinking about right now. They do. Okay. They chump with the Emeritus to just take 1. Totally forgot about this Aven Interrupter that we returned to their hand. Okay, Field of Ruin, not a sign of strength from them. I think we can beat 1 Aven Interrupter. We'll cast a Crab. They Aven Interrupter. Now we play second crab, tap these two. Now we get to attack for... okay, that's... that's really good. Hard to see what they have here, too. Please, Arena. Hell, cats and zombies would be wild, too. Oh, man. Does cats... so we have Sacred Cat. What other one drops? We have Sacred Cat. We have the... oh, man. I played that card. Leonin something. That if you have 3 creatures, it becomes a 2/2. It still put 4 Shepherd Dunes in 3. Got Witches up. And yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure that this deck needs the whole land destruction package. Both of these games... okay, Brutal Cathar. Alright, that's beatable. I guess it's pretty free in this deck. But yeah, the Shepherd Dunes plus Scavenger Grounds actually nerfs a lot of the Pioneer metagame right now. Okay. So they go to end step. We cast third crab, tap this, tap the Brutal Cathar. Okay, and they concede. Was super popular then, and they would just get so salty when you would play that on turn 1 and exile all of their instants and sorceries. Oh boy. 1 lander, we have an opt. We don't have a second cantrip. We're going to be responsible and mulligan that. A second 1 lander. Our cantrip's better this time. And we're not going to 5. No companion. Let's be greedy and put this Fiery Impulse to the bottom. Alright, no second land. Can double Spell Pierce. Alright, we're against... huh? Wait a second. Alright, equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has hexproof from monocolored. Equip 4, this costs 1 less for each color of the creature it targets. I have no idea what's going on. We'll counter just about anything this turn to turn on our flow state. Can't counter that. This is a... whenever it... oh, so this is Hammer. All right. Leonin Vanguard. Yes. Leonin Vanguard. Oh, man. That was probably the first arena deck that I like fully built, was that mono white aggro deck with, oh man, History of Benalia, Leonin Vanguard, Benalish Marshal. All right, they have another Raubon. It's from Assassin's Creed. Okay. Well, they can equip this. It just becomes a 4/4 then. That 4/4 is beatable. Let's flow. Oh, man, we don't find a land. Okay, so this will be 4 mana next turn. We'll just take the 2 cheap instants and sorceries. This can... oh, man, brutal. So we have to pay the ward each time we tap something with this. What is... whenever equipped creature... draw a card, then you make... oh boy. So what do they have off the Buster Sword? They can cast a 5-drop or less. Another equipped creature. Okay. And then they, oh my god, yeah, we're gonna lose to Hammer Time. So we can 3 damage to them, tap this, take another 6, and then hope that they don't have something crazy off of. Alternatively, so we've played a land this turn, so there's no way that we can crab. Yeah, we just got to pass. We will tap Kemba. So they cast another Buster Sword. That'll make this 9 power. So we just need to go 3 to them, tap Kenba. 1 target equipment. Okay. So now they can attach this second Buster Sword. They get to cast 2 things for free here. We need to, okay, do we get to Spell Pierce something? Third Buster Sword. We don't really care about this. We're gonna, yeah, we need to consider to make sure we hit a land. Yeah, this doesn't trigger here. Plus, this is a tutor. Yeah, I'm valuing the consider here. Because if we find a land, okay, they find a Shadow Spear. Because neither of these have haste. Okay. So land here, we get to return everything to their hand. That's not a land. Still not a land. Okay. At the last chance, we find a land. So we Eddy Merc Crab, don't tap anything. Sunderflock, return those to their hand. None of this gives haste because they can play this again to return, to attach any of these equipments. But this one's not as dangerous because we can tap this without having to pay life. Well, the only thing we can do this turn is Eddy Merc Crab into Sunderflock. Super cool deck from our opponent. I haven't seen Hammer Time. Also, I put in 2 copies of Flashback and 2 Screaming Nemeth. Switched out Slaying Fire. That sounds sick. Flashing back Searing Blood. And only 2. Are you on. Oh, no. Ward 2. Are you on 4 Screaming Nemesises? I usually find that that's the best card in the deck whenever I play a mono red list. It says, oh, so we can't even tap this. Uh-oh. So we can attack here, see if they want to trade. They do not want to trade. They take 5. So if we sleight of hand into a land, so we have Vibrant Outburst to tap this. Now let's leave up Vibrant Outburst plus Eddy Merc Crab. Oh, man. Or Violent Outburst. It's really good if we find a land off of this. It's not a... we don't just lose if we don't find one. We don't. All right, now we'll pass. Just plan to Vibrant Outburst. 4 Skull Cracks in the main, plus 3 Roiling Vortex in the side. The thing that I like about Screaming Nemesis is less the... Oh, wait, this just kills us. Oh, sorry about that. I forgot this has Ward 2. Yeah, we are dead. Sorry about that. I like how Screaming Nemesis makes blocking just so weird. for the opponents. It's less about they can't gain life. Of course, that's good. But I just love how, they're at like 7 or 8, and then you have a Screaming Nemesis, and it's just impossible to block the thing without taking another 3. And especially if they're on like bigger creatures, then it gets really weird because you attack into their shield grid. Now you're dealing 4 to them. So that's just been my experience. Is usually Screaming Nemesis is like the best card in the deck when I'm playing it. All right, sideboarding against Hammer Time. All of their stuff is less than 3 toughness. I don't think we need this. We can bring in the Aether Gusts here. They had quite a few red creatures. I never picked up a set. Just opened 3 and left it. Yeah. It's probably not essential. Just a card that I really like. Divide by 0 feels a little bit slow. Here, would much rather have our cheaper interactions. So we can... but going... Maybe we don't want to go down. We can go down 1. Let's go down 1 Flow State. It's not a slow card, but it is the slowest card in our deck right now. And against Hammer Time, you don't need to be able to grind super late. You just have to answer their threats early, and then they should fall apart. Oh, man, another 1-lander. We just cannot get functional hands in this matchup. Oh, come on. Should have kept the first one. Going to 5. I mean, we have to keep this. Send back 1 land. Plus Hearth Elemental. So we could... we could send back this, send back land, with the plan of actually using the Stroke for Genius half of this. That doesn't sound the worst to me. Okay, so on turn 1, play something, Fiery Impulse. Turn 2, play land. No, sorry, let's put back... Put back Steam Vents. And hopefully... kill something with this, and hopefully get to draw 2 cards off of this Stroke Genius. So I have this Dragonfire Blade again. We draw an Aether Gust. That's pretty good here. It can slow them down quite a bit. Really hard mulligan to 5. So they play this cat. Yeah, we're gonna kill this. Land here would be nice. No land. We need to get we're on a mulligan to 5. We gotta just hope we high roll. Yep. Alright. Nice. We will Aether Gust just about anything they play here. If it's Aether Gustable. This can equip... Yeah. Let's Aether Gust this. We're just... on the mulligan to 5, we're trying to empty our hand out and use this as card advantage. Okay, so they go bottom. They have a second Fervent Champion. They get to equip the Dragonfire Blade. get him for 3. All right, so we find a land here. We could just play Hearth Elemental. This now has hexproof for monocolor. Alternatively, we can divide by 0 the Dragonfire Blade and then get Firebender's Lesson to kill the Fervent Champion. I like that. Especially if they play another equipment and try to equip this Fervent Champion, we'll do that. Might try 4 by cutting the Skullcracks and adding 2 lands, running 18 mountains. Okay, Cloud. What is... Oh, this is Stoneforge. Okay. So they play Stoneforge. Not actual Stoneforge Mystic, but... They get a Buster Sword. They play Untapped Land. What does that mean? They have a Kellen, so they get to tutor again. We're going to go with our same line of divide by 0 into Firebending Lesson. They get a Shadow Spear. All right, so we will divide by 0 the equipment. Actually, does Iroh's Demonstration kills both of these here. So we'll take 1. And then we can't cast this next turn if we do that, but we need to take this 2 for 1 on our huge mulligan. Yeah. 2 damage to each creature. Bummer we haven't drawn a second red source. A little bit punished for putting the Steam Vents back. But drawing 2 more basic islands wasn't in the plans. I might try 4 by cutting the Skullcracks and adding 2 lands running. You're on 18 mountains right now, or you're on 16 lands right now? Okay. Other creatures you control get... So I'm seeing a lot of these cards for the first time. So other get +1 for each equipment on Kellen, and he has Double Strike. So... Now that we've drawn this Sunderflock, I don't think we're getting to Stroke Genius this game. So let's just put some pressure on them. Go Elemental, return this, and now we have 9 power on board. We're threatening to kill them in 2 turns, and we have a 1 removal spell, so we have a lot of live draws on 18 lands right now. Yeah, if your only 3-drop is Screaming Nemesis, maybe only need 19 lands. Like trim, you could go down like 2 Skullcracks, 4th Screaming Nemesis, 19 lands. Okay, so they find us Sheltered by Ghosts, but we can actually kill this time. We only get to do 4 damage. Now, yeah, we're just going to kill Cloud. We could do this at instant speed. Yeah, no reason to show our hand now. So get in for 4. This way we can potentially blow them out a little bit more by killing Cloud when they go to equip. Okay, so they equip Dragonfire Blade. This gives +2/+2, so it's still killable by Vibrant Outburst. Right? Yep, so I'm not missing anything here. As long as it's equipped. Yeah, so that's fine. Now if they equip the Shadow Spear, we will. So now we Vibrant Outburst. 3 damage. No tapping. Oh my gosh. That's how that works? As long as Cloud is equipped, if a triggered ability... Okay. So I've never seen this card before. Brutal. So they draw Colossus Hammer. We draw a Spell Pierce. I think we are... They can't necessarily equip this next turn. They can Buster Sword. So we are chump blocking. All right. I mean, we have some live draws here. So if we Spell Pierce here, they can't equip this turn. And this also makes it so they can't really attack with the Cloud because we can trade. 4 Lightning Strike, 4 Skullcrack, 4 Eidolon, 4 Searing Blood, 2 Nemesis, 4 Skewer, 18 lands. Wait, what did I miss? Oh, they had a land. Okay, so we go to 9. Does this have Trample? It does. All right, we'll go to 1. Need a Sunderflock off the top. Just a Kellen. 4 Bolt Weave, 4 Burst Lightning, 2 Flashback, 4 Swift Spear, 2 Play with Fire, 4 Soul Scar. Consider Sunderflock. Okay, Divide by 0 doesn't do it. There's nothing we can get. All right, Sunderflock. Eddie Merc Crab. Technically, they have another Buster Sword. We can't tap this. Yeah, good game. Brutal mulligan to 5 there. Plus not knowing. Just, I've never seen a lot of these cards before, so I made some misplays, so sorry about that. But yeah, maybe I'm a little bit too high on Flashback. 4 Searing Blood, bunch of Prowess Mirrors and Mono Green and Golgari. Yeah, that's true. It does kill opposing Prowess creatures and all the dorks, and it kills Badgermole, so it's fine. 1 Play with Fire, 3 Grafdigger's Cage, 2 Pyroclasm, 3 Roiling Vortex, 2 Scorching Shot, 4 Smash to Smithereens. Best card, yeah, best red card in the deck. None of the... I really liked... Ooh, we're against mono green Devotion here. What it... Red Cap Melee? I liked Red Cap Melee. Oh, and the Lizard. Magebane Lizard. Are you running any of those? I've really liked that card. And the Standard Nightmare, yeah. All right, pretty good start from them. Honestly, we'll take a second crab. We have a pretty good hand that powers crabs out this turn. Hopefully we find just any instant or sorcery to mill with this. Consider. Oh, wow. Ooh, very fast to draw from our opponent here. Old Growth Troll. Oh my gosh. All right, we need to hit any instant or sorcery with this. Another Hearth Elemental, but this has to go to the graveyard, I think. We need Sunderflocks. Opt. Okay, we find the Sunderflock. That's huge. This is 4 mana, so we Sleight of Hand. We're going to be taking 4 this turn. We'll take another Vibrant Outburst. And yeah, so we are going to take 4 this turn, but we do get to go Eddie Merc Crab into Sunderflock next turn to return anything that they play. It's going to add red cap, but my army of 1-drop spells makes blocking hell or impossible if I can play the game. Okay, yeah, that's fair. But I think Magebane Lizard is pretty insane. Tap another creature you control. Tyvar gains indestructible. Tap it. Creatures. Can they activate this? They have Nykthos. They have this. Their devotion is 9. Oh my gosh. So they can only activate this once. But yeah, we will go. So we go 3 damage to Tyvar. Tap Old Growth Troll. No, then they just tap the troll that we're targeting, so we'll just go 3 damage to them, tap an Old Growth Troll. We're getting smacked this turn though. So now they get to go to combat. Oh, are we? They notably they don't attack with the Grazer here. Yeah, interesting that they don't attack with Grazer. Could have gotten in 4 more damage. All right. Play Pathway, and now we just go Eddie Merc Crab. No taps. Okay, you've got indestructible. And we will return all of this to their hand. Oh yeah, Magebane Lizard has been in my thoughts a few times. If I throw a VV deck together, I'm doing something infinite. Yeah, Magebane Lizard, every time I play a red deck, it's always the best card in the sideboard. I've won so many matches off of just cast Magebane Lizard on turn 2 and then don't even need to cast anything else the rest of the game, and it just solos the opponent by themselves. Okay, so they make 6 mana here with Castle Garenbrig. Oh, Eidolon is the only... Oh yeah, Eidolon does do basically the same thing. Oh, but man, you could make the Izzet Prowess players really sad by having an Eidolon and a Magebane Lizard out at the same time. Cast Storm Chaser's Talent, take 3. Cast Boomerang Basics, take 4. Alright, so you go double Troll again, plus the Grazer. Wow, we're just back to needing another Sunderflock. We'll start with this Flow State. Oh, wow. Wow. What a find off of the Flow State. So we get to go... Is it just... So we go second Sunderflock. Just return everything, attack for 10, put them to 7, and then on our turn again, we can double tap with these Eddie Merc Crabs. I like that. Instead of trying to like play this game where we try to tap on their turn with the Eddie Merc Crabs, just a little bit. This letting them untap with 7 devotion feels a little bit risky. They have a Titan of Industry. Very good top deck from them. I used to use Cemetery Gatekeeper and Eidolon together. Cemetery Gate... Oh. Some of the greatest... Which one is that? Let me... The name sounds familiar. Enters, exile a card. Oh, yeah. That's right. All right, what do we draw here? What did they make here? They gained 5 life, sorry, and made a 4/4 Rhino. And we have 15 power on the board. Okay, so we go tap, tap, and deal 3, tap, Titan of... This doesn't have a ward. No. And we attack with our group of elemental boys. They can't cast anything, right? And we beat Mono Green Devotion. All right, sorry opponent, but I need to go use the restroom before game number 2. I will be right back. All right, we are back against Mono Green Devotion. We didn't see any 1 drops from them. And they were playing Grazer, so they might not be playing the elves. They've got to be. But anyway, Fiery Impulse, Spell Pierce definitely out. Maybe it's just 2 Spell Pierces and 1 Fiery Impulse out for the Broadside Barrages. Yeah, let's see how these play against this Mono Green Devotion deck. It kills their 4 toughness creatures. Doesn't kill the Titan of Industry. We've played against Mapo Tofu a few times before. Oh boy, we're on the 1 land triple cantrip. Our opponent hits us with the pre-game GG. I'm not sure what that means. Do they just have the crazy nuts? They get in with a Boreal Grazer. Maybe they kept a bad hand. They have nothing on turn 2. And they concede. Okay, seems like they kept a risky hand and it did not pay off. I always have fun playing Magic. Thanks for asking, Wizards. All right, no lands. So I've been trying to think of what an appropriate number of rares would be to include in a budget brew. Oh man, okay, so we're against the mono blue Devotion deck. Oh no, what is... Man, we'll keep Buffalo State. It's a slow state. I love that. I'm stealing that. We'll keep a slow state. Oh, cast a slow state. Let's grab a Divide by 0. We can decide what we're doing with it later, but I think we're going to be discarding this Fiery Impulse. It just doesn't... Likely not doing anything against our blue-white opponent. All right, and they are just not casting anything. Whatever I say is really good. Yeah, no, thank you. That's genius, the slow state. Let's take another. Yeah, let's take another divide by 0 here. We can just play the long game. You know, returning a 1-drop with this feel okay, the Wandering Emperor. Yeah, I think we do need to bite on this. Do they have any lands worth blowing up? No. Yeah, let's just go with our first plan of get rid of this Fiery Impulse. It's doing nothing. We are not... Oh, man, I want to... Okay. I want to play this deck. I have a brew of this. But in classic arena fashion, I'm like 10 mythics and 20 rares away from the version of the deck that I want to play. All right, so against blue-white Lotus control, we need to get a threat down. So let's play this Hearth Elemental. We're not going to Sunderflock it. Okay, so they have a spell here. Is it in a road? Luckily, this is very good against their... Okay, they have an erode. Nothing we can do about that. Get a land. Our elementals do a good job of dodging their march of... Oh my gosh. Cannot... Oh, they have a Thespian stage. Oh, I'm so jealous of our opponent. The marches. Didn't catch what you were saying. Came in at the tail end of missing 20 rare. Oh, just... I think this discontinuity Lotus deck is super cool. And I have a version of the deck that I want to play, but I'm... like... It's maybe not 20 rares. I think it's like 15 rares and like 10 mythics short of putting it together. But it's on the list of things to play. So they make a samurai. We are going to... Oh, they have a discontinuity here. Oh, that's... Yeah. That's really good here. They don't have any card advantage to go with the extra turn here. We don't care too much about taking 3. We're going to be returning this to their hand next turn. Just draw another land. Does our Hearth Elemental resolve? Let's play Sunderflock. We are... Oh boy. So they have another discontinuity. They stranded a land in hand with that one because we didn't play it first. We will concede to... Went against actual Sultai load. Yeah, I've heard that the Lotus Field gamers are... That I guess Izzet was one of their worst matchups because they just weren't able to keep up with it. But now that they aren't expecting to see it as often, that maybe Lotus Field is... That Lotus Field combo deck is back. All right, we are not ready for blue-white Lotus Field. Legend of Roku's in. Fiery Impulse down to 1. This counters nothing. This can kill Teferi and the Wandering Emperor. So we'll bring this in. Brutal. I felt like I was... Oh, excuse me. I had 2 Eidolon. Yeah, did you win against Lotus Field, or was it too fast for burn? All right, this hand is all right. We need to find more instants and sorceries to go with these elementals. Hopefully our Consider draws us into those. We'll just keep a sleight of hand. And another sleight of hand. All right, we'll take divide by 0 here. Just cast another sleight of hand. And we have a real flow state. Potentially running this flow state into a counterspell here, but okay, looks like they do have, oh no counterspell from our opponent. We have land, so let's just take the spells here. And having the Flash Crab is nice against this control deck to start putting pressure on them from next turn. I'm not sure what they could be thinking about here. All right, Spell Pierce is a great find. And yeah, let's just plan to... Let's think about this. So we can actually, playing Hearth Elemental here, then we Eddy Merc Crab, we're putting them, it's still a 3-turn clock. Play this, there's not much they could have here. This Thespian stage actually very awkward for them. Next turn they Discontinuity, we can counter the Discontinuity. Yeah, so is there a world where we need to divide by 0 plus Spell Pierce? I don't think so. Let's just cast this Hearth Elemental. I'm going to value getting more pressure down this turn. Because just Lotus Field, yeah, so Lotus Field, we get to Spell Pierce this Discontinuity. Or do we return it to their... Nah, let's just get value out of this Spell Pierce while we can. Force them to actually pay for this Lotus Field, and we get to get this second crab down. Oh, nice. And a Sunderflux. So we attack for 9 here. All right, we're actually... And they concede. We were just presenting lethal with counterspell backup that turn. So, all right, 2 pretty one-sided matches. I don't think we're making any changes for game number 3. Let's just run it back. That was a much clunkier draw from them, and we took advantage of it. Let's see. All right, we have cantrips, we have interaction, and we have our payoff elemental. We have the Splinter Twin, half of the combo. We just needed Deceiver Exarch. They went off on their turn 5 twice in a row. Yeah, that's... usually what happens when I play against that deck too. Same with that other... the one using like the untapped... Oh, Narset here? Yeah, we're going to Spell Pierce that. The combo decks in Pioneer are very hard to interact with. It's not my favorite thing that there's so many... Okay, Strict Proctor. We need to divide by 0 this. Wow, and they just concede off of that. That's kind of crazy. You would think that if you're playing this Lotus Field deck, you know, you got to have the mental fortitude to not just instantly scoop the second that someone interacts with what you're trying to do. If that's what you're going to do, then maybe play regular blue-white control. I need Sir on all one land. Okay, they have a Duress. We'll see what they take here. One of our 1-mana cantrips getting Duressed here makes the 1-lander really Really? Okay, they just take a Vibrant Outburst. I'm kind of glad. Okay, we find second land. Whew. I do like having. Okay, that makes sense that they have Badgermole Cub after duressing the Vibrant Outburst. Let's just cast one of these flow states here. And we're going to take double land, make it so we have no more land problems the rest of this game. And we are letting them untap with a Badgermole Cub. Okay, they have a second Badgermole Cub. Really need to find any of our elementals to get this Sunderflock down. Okay, we find an elemental. We are... So we leave up Divide by 0 here to counter something big. We take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we're fine taking 6. We don't need to panic flow state yet. And then if we don't divide by 0 anything, we still have some cantrips to make this cast 1 mana next turn. All right, so we take only taking 4. Wow, so they're just passing. All right, so we will cast our 1 mana cantrips. We don't need another land. And we have... Yeah, we can bottom this. Okay, we find an Eddy Merc. Let's consider... we can keep this, consider, draw it, and then cast it. Not that it really matters, but we are getting to look 1 card deeper. Okay, nice. We get to get rid of a Spire Bluff Canal. All right, so now we get to... We can Hearth Elemental into Sunderflock. No reason to Crab into Sunderflock here. Would rather have the ability to tap some stuff. Curious to see what their hand is. Maybe just a bunch of kill spells. So these elementals could be dying, but huge swing for us here. We get to put 2 lands back in their hand and really put them behind. And more creature targeting burn for their Grazer and the Bard. Good blockers. Yeah. Grazer is... Yeah, you can tear us under our Sunderflock. So we get to return all this stuff to... Man, what... Brutal blowout for them. Grazer is so good against the mono-red decks in this format. All right, they get to animate a swamp here. Play the Badgermole Cub again, so good follow-up from them. Oh my god. Let's go. That's so funny. So we could be super greedy and cast this flow state first, but we just lose the game potentially if we don't find a land. So let's just Sunderflock. Oh, what a funny game. So almost a perfect victory from us there. Nice double Badgermole Cub from our opponent. All right, against Golgari, we've been having a pretty good matchup against this deck. Let's bring in Aether Gusts. This counters a lot of the stuff in their deck. Bring in the Legends of Roku. Actually, I don't know if... Sounds strange. Do we need this in this matchup? Yeah, legit was the first time I considered a build with Monstrous Rage. I have a difficult relationship with Monstrous Rage. I get why the people run. Like, I get why it's ran. The fastest draws are usually like the double Monstrous Rage draws, and triggering the what is the mouse called? The Emberheart champion with Monstrous Rage for card advantage is really nice. But I've just gotten blown out so many times with cards like that that I cut it almost every time I sideboard. Okay, so for sideboarding here, we can just trim on some of our removal that's a little bit more situational and bring in the grindy cards here. Got the Broadside Barrages, Legend of Roku's for grinding. Aether Gust is also nice here. And yeah, don't want it for, yeah, just for trample. And it is nice that the trample sticks around. Like, I've wanted, like, oh my gosh, can we get a 2-land hand, please? I would keep this if it wasn't Storm Carved Coast. Man, it's close. The rest of this hand is really good. But not being able to cast anything. They took... Oh my gosh, sorry. Well, we're keeping it. I meant to mulligan that hand. But... accidentally clicked the keep button. Do we get punished? Well, they're duressing again. They get to see our accidental keep. They probably take the Aether Gust here. No reason to take one of the 1-drops. Yep, they take the Aether Gust. Thoughtseize Bug alive on Arena 2. All right, do we get punished? We do. All right, yeah. Again, meant to mulligan that hand, just a little bit of a misclick. All right, they have an Emeritus. All right, we only whiff for 1 land. Let's go on the tempo play 8th. So we've already played a land this turn. We just fall so far behind against this Emeritus. So let's go on the tempo play and cast this Aether Gust. I keep 1-landers nearly ever. See, actually, the only reason I was considering not keeping was because it was the Storm Carved Coast. All right, we do not find a land, but we're just digging for lands this turn. Ooh, so sorry, what did they do with... Oh, they put it on the bottom. Okay. Let's go land Broadside Barrage. And hopefully find a Sunderflock. Unholy Annex, again, just being the most annoying card. All right, so they find another Emeritus. They are very grindy this game. All right, so this is, of course, an enchantment. So this turn... Oh, we don't have Sunderflock. I don't love trying to outgrind them into this active Unholy Annex, but letting them Emeritus back this duress is just too bad for us here, so we need to kill this. Okay, we find a Legend of Roku. Let's just get rid of one of these cantrips. We don't need another. Are we playing? Let's get an elemental down. This makes a Sunderflock a super good draw and does start to pressure their life total. It protects us from getting attacked by this Mutavault too, to keep our life total high. All right, so they find another duress here. Pretty good from them. They probably either the Divide by Zero or the Legend of Roku. My theory is that this package of Unholy Annex plus Mutavault is what we're going to be seeing a ton of in post-ban Pioneer. It's just such good card advantage for almost no cost. See what their follow-up... Okay. So they're down to 12. We put them to 8. Almost forces them to activate this Mutavault next turn. Oh. That was Arena, come on. So now that we cast... This actually is good. So we're applying a ton of pressure to them. They're at 8. We play another elemental here. We have lethal on board. They activate Mutavault. Then they go up to 12. We're attacking for 8 next turn. Plus the Vibrant Outburst. Yeah, let's just cast this second Hearth Elemental. We're putting a lot of pressure on them. If they just unlock this door... We don't necessarily have lethal. Shieldred, like every game against Golgari, is their best draw here. They do activate the Mutavault. Next turn, we're going to be digging pretty hard to find a removal spell for this Mutavault. I hope to see more. Yeah, it's a cool package. I like it. I think that Dimir is pretty underrepresented right now. They're out. Okay, they're not to discard yet. We'll add a blue here. I think we're just Eddy Merc crabbing. Eddy Merc crab. Vibrant Outburst them. Leave up Eddy Merc crab plus consider. No taps here. Again, would love to have left this Vibrant Outburst up to kill the Mutavault, but it's going away this turn. So it looks like they have a removal spell. Our elementals do a good job of dodging a lot of theirs. So they have a Terrace Under. That's fine. We dodge Fatal Push with our elementals. Bitter Triumph is awkward for them to cast. Wow, they shock. That's bold. So they duress. They get to take a consider, and they get to see double crab. See what they have here. I think we beat Shieldred. We beat Shieldred, activate Mutavault. They'd need... So they activate Mutavault, they go to 7. They would need double Bitter Triumph. Yeah, looks like we have outgrinded the Golgari deck. The Whoopsies Legend of Roku actually ended up being the right play, I think. We probably would have gotten there after we thought about it for a second. Opponent is deep in the tank. Okay, they play a Professor Delianfell. Just destroy... So they destroy Eddy Merc Crab, activate Mutavault, go to 7. No, they're just dead. And there's no way that saves them. We'll consider. Little cheeky consider. Nice Thoughtseize from them to go out. I respect it. From having tap lands, but I'm really wanting to find something that I can recommend to people. All right, we're against Golgari again. Really good hand against Golgari. If we can mill a sorcery with this consider, it's going to be even crazier. We don't mill a sorcery, but we will take another elemental. Let's just cast Flow State. It's a slow state. But now all of our next flow states are on, and I just want to be able to curve out. All right, what are we doing here? Let's leave up divide by 0. Likely that they cast a Shieldred on this turn. So specifically, I've been looking at like gates potentially. Might as well make a budget list, an extreme version, and then list out what is the placeholder for X better card. Yeah, all right, play Steam Vents here. Are we flow stating this turn? I don't think so. So if we're not flow stating, we'll just play Steam Vents tapped. We have a ton of Hearth Elementals. All right, awesome. And we get to divide by 0. Do we finally get to do the thing and boomerang basics our Sunderflock? I think that's what we're going to play towards. Are we finding opt? Spell Pierce is pretty useless now. Now we'll just play, yeah, 1 mana Hearth Elemental. And honestly, we can just cast this flow state. We're not leaving up anything else right now. We don't have to discard to hand size. We'll just take land. We're good on elementals. Let's take a Fiery Impulse to leave up. Yeah, listing upgrades would help people decide how to best approach getting into it and upgrade from what wild cards we get. Oh, should have cast this Consider probably. Do they have a Thoughtseize to go with it? No. All right, we lose 2, but we just get to Sunderflock, and then next turn we can return. Yeah, okay, so notably, the learn package was very good there. Just the fact that they knew that we were going to be returning that next turn and looping these Sunderflocks every turn, super strong. All right, I liked our sideboarding against Golgari last time, so let's do the same thing. Trim on our awkward removal. I like cutting the Spell Pierces, I think, because we are just able to go late game and grind them out. What else did we cut last time? We still have 2 more. We can go down like just 1 opt. Was it 1 divide by 0? Divide by 0 looked great that game though. Maybe it's just 3rd Fiery Impulse. Yeah, the wild card situation is awkward. Because when I make a budget deck, if I'm including wild cards in it, I want them to be cards that are actually reasonable for people to like want to have in their collection and like not just feel horrible about unlocking. Oh, we're gonna cast this, sorry. And all right, another crab or a divide by 0. Let's take this divide by 0 this turn. For people willing to spend a little bit of money, though, I'd say 8 rares lands on Arena is pretty budget friendly. Yeah, that's kind of where I was landing, was like 8 rares, no mythics, or maybe like 4 rares, 4 mythics. All right, we are going to do an upkeep stop, kill Badger Mole Cub, tap the Yawgmoth. This is one of the reasons I love the Vibrant Outburst, is doing this. Oh, we're on full control. All right. I'm not sure what they could use this mana in their untap for. Yeah, so the list I've been thinking about is potentially like a Gates deck and then using the rares on just a few lands. Not sure. I've been thinking about it. There's Arena is not a very budget deck friendly format. All right, they duress us. Are we divide by zeroing? We can get. Nah, there's nothing we can get. They take the divide by zero. We could filter one of these, but. Again, I don't love. All right, we get attacked by this Urborg. This is 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we'll keep this. Play the Stormcarved Coast. If we counter or if we use this Stormcarved Coast, then our crab is only okay, and they concede. They're stuck on 2 lands. We weren't necessarily gonna win that one. Surprised that they conceded so quickly.